In section 1C, we're going to look at factoring out the greatest common factor. In 1B, you looked at finding the greatest common factor of monomials. Now we're going to have binomials or trinomials where we have to find the greatest common factor of those, and to factor it out means to put it out in front of parentheses. We're going to look for that common monomial factor and factor it out, and then figure out what's left inside parentheses. So we're going to have something, a monomial factored out, the greatest common factor, and then we're going to figure out what's left inside parentheses. One note is you will always have the same amount of terms left inside parentheses as you did to start with whatever polynomial you had. Okay, so we're going to look at number 17 right here. And we've got two terms. It's a binomial. We have 5x to the 10th, and then we have plus 2x cubed. So what I want to do is I want to find the greatest common factor of those two terms, and I want to put that out, the greatest common monomial factor, and put that out in front of the parentheses, and then figure out what's left. Okay, so if we look at 5x to the 10th and 2x cubed, and this is kind of what you did in the prior section, what's the greatest common factor of 5 and 2? Well, 1 is the greatest common factor, and you can put the 1 out here, but you don't, when the greatest common factor of the two numerical coefficients is 1, you really don't need to put the 1 out in front. So let's go ahead and grab the eraser and erase it. I mean, you could put it there if you want, okay? And then if we look at x to the 10th and x to the 3rd, if you remember the rule from the prior section, x cubed would be the greatest common factor because we're going to take the lowest exponent. So basically it's 1x cubed. So we're going to put x cubed out in front of parentheses. Now, if we're factoring out a positive monomial, we're going to have a plus sign left in the middle like we started. And we're going to always have two terms left here because we started with two terms. Okay, so if I take x cubed out of this first term, 5x to the 10th. I want to think, this is kind of the opposite of the distributive property. So you want to think, what do you multiply x cubed by? That will go right in this blank. That will give me 5x to the 10th. Well, I got to get the 5, so it's going to be a 5 inside there. Okay, and let's actually grab the eraser and erase that now. So if we go back to the pen, I'll put that parenthesis back on. So I'm going to have 5. And then if I took x cubed out, and I had x to the 10th, or I want to get back to x to the 10th. Remember, if I was going to distribute this back through, I'd have to add exponents. So this would be x to the 7th. Because x cubed times 5x to the 7th gives me 5x to the 10th. Now, if I take x cubed out of the second term, I got to figure out what's left. Notice I had 2x cubed. So in this blank, this second spot right here, x cubed times what is 2x cubed? Well, that's got to be just a 2, so I won't have a variable on that. And let's go ahead and erase that blank on the bottom. Okay, so my factoring out the greatest common factor is to take out the x cubed, which is my biggest one, and then to figure out what's left, which is 5x to the 7th plus 2.